Well, welcome back. Well, a little bit of what's trending today. Fans won't be allowed into Patriots or Revolution games at Gillette Stadium through the end of their season. Stadium officials announced this yesterday. Now, officials said that they had learned that the Governor Charlie Baker's executive order banning gatherings at large venues amid the coronavirus crisis would remain in effect through the NFL and MLS seasons. Patriot fans hadn't been allowed at Gillette Stadium at all this season, but Monday's announcement effectively ends any hope that at least some seats in the stadium would be filled this year. Now, other NFL teams have allowed a small percentage of fans back into their buildings amid the coronavirus pandemic, but, we'll see what happens. Not looking really likely. Well, I don't know. Researchers now, too. I don't know, Devin, what do you think? You're a big sports guy. How are you feeling about this?
I know it's a tough call here because I totally agree that you need to be keeping people safe and spaced out. I think it's kind of that personal call on what is safe. I mean, can you space out? I feel if you can space out, I think you can do it safely, but I do think it's kind of a personal preference. Honestly, I think both can be the answer in a way too.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a major concern this past weekend. They're at a college football game, Notre Dame, they rushed the field. And while that may not happen at bigger NFL games, I think it is definitely a concern, especially with such high risk and surges across the U.S. All morning we've been talking about that 50 million globally of the crisis right now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was watching that Notre Dame game, which aired right here on NBC, and my goodness, people, come on. It's like we totally forgot how to be careful. It just feels that way.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone should be taking risks. Now, of course, they still have the virtual fans, which I've kind of grown fond of, actually. I think it's so cool. And sometimes you have the cardboard cutouts and whatnot. So definitely interesting. It's definitely different. I think it really also just gives people the opportunity to just, have fun with it a little bit more,
Yeah, definitely there. Our next story, too, we're going to switch some gears to an animal theme here. It's called Save the Penguin. So researchers in South Africa have started a new program to save a specific kind of penguin from going extinct. The little African penguin is the only penguin that breeds in Africa. Once South Africa's most abundant seabird, its population dropped from 1 million pairs in the 1920s to just 13,000 pairs last year. The numbers began dropping after people began taking their eggs to eat, which, come on, people. Researchers started using their penguin decoys to entice the birds to lay their eggs on a beach where the eggs are protected. Also, hand-rearing penguin chicks will be released in the same area to build a new colony. Researchers have high hopes and said the same ideas work to build up another threatened bird colony in the U.S. So, we got people that are not being smart, but I'm really happy to see researchers are doing what they need to do to save these animals.
Yeah, definitely. I was really happy about this initiative. Penguins are my favorite animal. You ask all my friends back home, any gift they needed to give me, it was penguin related. And, when I traveled to Africa, this was a huge discussion over there by researchers of, people don't believe penguins do live in hot, warm weather, which is it's extremely temperamental right now to make sure that animals are. Now, there's been other research studies as well showing that because of the virus, there hasn't been as much human interaction, which has separated that a little bit more to hurting animals or poaching and whatnot. So definitely want to be taking care of those penguins out there.
Yeah, take care of those penguins out there, and it's all the other animals too.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, anticipated birth in Netherlands has baby watchers thrilled today. A rare black rhino was born at Rotterdam Zoo Sunday evening. Mother Nema's delivery could be followed via a live webcam broadcast. The zoo announced she had gone into labor early Sunday evening. Her pregnancy lasted approximately 480 days. I had no idea about that. Caretakers say that they hadn't had a chance to see if the baby was male or female just yet. It's the second calf that Nema has given birth to. The first was born at the same zoo about 3 years ago. Now, of course, visitors won't be able to see the young rhino in real life just yet. Zoos will remain shut down until November 18th due to the Dutch government's coronavirus restrictions.
Yeah, so I mean that's really kind of interesting to see this, especially that pregnancy can last over hundreds of days too.
Yeah, certainly. My sister is actually studying to become a zoologist, and every single time I talk to her, it's always some sort of fact. And it's crazy how different animals have pregnancy terms compared to humans. That's always been quite a thrill. We raise dairy goats and cows here and whatnot, and we see that they have a longer pregnancy term as well. So all around, animals are just cool people. Like, just if you don't like animals.
Animals are really cool. They can also sense really cool things too.